Very secretive government organizations exist. It's a well-known fact. CIA, NSA, ASIO, MI6, ISI, the list goes on and on and on. But sometimes organizations not so secretive but little known also exist. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Weights and Measures. So for this episode of For Curiosity's Sake, who are Weights and Measures? I better double check that that's actually still the name of that organization. Department of Industry, Science and Resources. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, just when you thought the ATO was the most boring federal department we have an organization dedicated to developing and maintaining national measurement standards that are recognized internationally. Fuck me, what a chore. So Weights and Measures does exactly just that. Checks weights and measures to confirm that they are accurate and that they conform with international standards. Honestly, years ago when I was first told about Weights and Measures, I thought it was some sort of a joke. Men in black rocking up to your door with a set of scales to ensure that the peach blossoms that your grandma is selling at the bake sale actually weigh 300 grams, like she said they did, and not 299. Jail for granny. Jokes aside, however, if there is an agency for it, just how important are actual internationally standardized and recognized measurements? Well, if you've done a little bit of critical thinking, you would have come to the realization that they are in fact extremely important. To put a long story short, the National Measurement Institute, NMI, or NME for short if you will, serve yourself and myself directly by ensuring that all things that are measured out and weighed are exactly what they say they are. And this has a double effect of ensuring that we as consumers aren't ripped off by people providing a service or providing a product. They ensure that the devices used in industry, science, and commercial applications actually accurately read the measurements that they're trying to read. Real life example, if you're at the servo and you're pumping a couple liters of fuel into your car, that you're actually getting the 5 liters that the pump says that you're getting instead of just 4.5. They also check sound measurements, volume measurements, pressure measurements, mass measurements, energy measurements, length measurements, and food measurements, which means Granny, Beryl, Old Beryl, and her bake sale are not safe from Weights and Measures. Now, that's not an exhaustive list. It goes on and on. Basically, if you can measure it, Weights and Measures is going to check that the instrument that you have measuring it is correct, and also the instrument that you're measuring it measures it in the units that are actually also the correct units by international standard. Yes. So all of this checking of the instruments and calibrating of the instruments, make sure the measurements that they're using on the instruments are actually the correct measurements that we want, benefits all of us by 1, ensuring that those measurements are correct, and 2, that those measurements align with international standards or SI units, which we're not going to delve into because that's a whole other thing and possibly another video. So if you want to know that, let me know. So basically what I'm going to call a meter and what old mate in Serbia are going to call a meter, if we both use the SI unit, that meter is the exact same length for both of us. Now, a tiny bit of backstory about international standard units. There's actually a really good example of why SI is an important thing in the book Journey to the Center of the Earth by Jules Verne. I'm currently reading it at the moment, so don't spoil it if you have finished it. But basically, the calculation that old mate from Germany used to say, oh yeah, that's only like, it says on the map, it's only 3 miles away. That's going to be like a quick little hike. That's probably not the measurement, don't quote me on that. He's using German miles, but old mate in Iceland is using Icelandic miles, which are way longer than German miles. So it turns out that the trip to the mountain's not going to be like a 3-mile trip by German mile standards. It's going to be a 3-mile trip by Icelandic standards, which is a multiple days journey. So that's why having standard international units is important. So if I go all the way over to Serbia to go meet old mate, shake his hand because we both use the same meter measurement, and it says that his house is 2 kilometers from the airport, I know I can walk 2 kilometers easy as. It's not going to be a horrible surprise from the days of old where I say he's 2 kilometers from the airport, I'm going to meet him, I'm going to walk 2 kilometers, and then it turns out it's 2 Serbian kilometers, which are like 200 Australian kilometers. If anything, it'd be the other way around because we're a bit bigger of a country, but you get what I mean. So at the end of all of it, there you have it. Weights and Measures as part of the NMI or National Measurement Institute, or NME, for short, are a federal agency in Australia with the sole purpose of making sure that when you go to Beryl's bake sale and you buy some vanilla ice, you get exactly 1 kilogram of vanilla ice like she advertised and not a gram less. So the next time you're thinking of Lady Justice, spare a thought for the scales and hope deep down in your soul that the National Measurement Institute actually calibrated them correctly. Now, thanks for watching this one, lads and lasses. It's great to be back. It's taken me years to get to this point to actually have some sort of a setup. So if you want to see more For Curiosity's Sake, let me know below. If you have a topic that you want me to explore in For Curiosity's Sake, drop it in the comments below. A like, share, and a subscribe is greatly appreciated. But either way, thank you for your time today. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.